Jeff and Jeremy, it's 9:34.
Cheese, mac and cheese.
Double Jeff.
Jeff, Jeffrey, and Jeremy. You want to join the show? That was a mouthful right there.
Let's do it.
Jeffrey, and Jeremy.
Jeff, Jeffrey, and Jeremy.
Jeff, Jeffrey,
Sounds
and
a good
Jeremy.
ring to it.
Mac and Cheese Fest is just about a couple weeks away now. It's on June 8th. I guess we're about 3 weeks away right now. It's 2 weeks away from this Saturday. And you can get your tickets now at themacandcheesefest.com. You can link at kzoz.com. Use the discount code MacMonday. You'll save $10 off every single ticket. We've got Jeffrey Wiesinger in here from Jeffrey's Wine Country Barbecue, who's been at every single mac and cheese except for maybe the first one.
I missed the first one, but the second one on.
And you've placed in every single one.
Every single one.
You've been
in the reigning
People's
third
Choice,
place. But,
Judge, yeah.
What did you make last year? Third place.
That is a good question, Jeff.
Do you forget? I mean,
I
a
do
lot
forget
has happened
sometimes.
with
That
you.
mac and cheese is dead to him, Jeff. Third place. Not good enough.
You're not first, you're last. But you've gone through a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
in the last year.
I want to say last year was sausage and bacon, and it was good. It placed third, and it beat out 20 some odd other competitors. So with so many great chefs out there, I got no shame in third place.
Right,
it was great,
that's
but I'm hungry.
Everybody tells
For the
me
one, I'm hungry
when
for
they
the
come
first.
to the mac and cheese event, and they've been to several, there's two names. There's two places they're going. They're going to your place, and they're going to your predator.
There's some other guy.
Yeah,
There's
the
another
other
guy.
The other guy.
You know what? God bless that other guy. Go,
No, they're gonna
go Bears.
They're going to go
by
see
the way.
you and Greg. And you guys not only, I mean, you're not arch nemesis at the Mac and Cheese Festival, but
I
you
love it.
guys hate each other's football teams. You're a Bears fan. He's a Packers fan.
That's where the real rivalry is. Hey, you know what? I tip my hat
Hey,
and
there's
show.
no love lost when Jeffrey was in the Master Deflators football league.
Now, and that's my best part.
That's right.
And that's my favorite part. And we have these two guys in our fantasy football league, and you ought to be there. That's freaking hilarious.
Yeah, football is that's the real competitive sport. The mac and cheese, that's just for fun. Anybody doing crazy enough to be a chef for a living and doing what we do, putting out so much great food to the people. I love and respect all the chefs in the area, but I'm gonna come and kick your ass.
We're going to get to the mac and cheese here in a minute, but I want to get to some fantasy football business first.
Right.
All right. No, this is just a couple of things. The Master Deflators Fantasy Football League's been around for quite some time now. We've had a great cast of guys. I know you just opened a restaurant. I'm just afraid that you're too busy. Are you going to be able to play again this year?
Well, he sat out last year.
I had to sit out because we were opening the restaurant. I was in it for 2 years. And I donated a lot of money to you jerks because I was not doing
I'm
so well.
I'm a donator too. I should be writing this stuff off of my taxes.
I need another year to get things up and going, but then I'll come in. It takes a lot of commitment to be a fantasy footballer.
Well, I know
and
that.
it takes a lot of commitment, more importantly, to open a
to
restaurant.
run a business.
Let's
and
talk
feed
about
the people.
let's talk about what you're doing, because it's like you're opening another restaurant, because you opened your restaurant that's up and running great, Jeffrey's Wine Country Barbecue on the alley in Paso. But then you had some businesses across the way. It didn't work out with them, so now you've absorbed that, which totally makes sense because it's in your courtyard. But what are you doing on the other side?
We're working with the city and the county to get us licensed to become a place that we can open to customers. Right now, it's been a great storage space for us. It's really allowed us to expand. We opened with wines on tap. Now we have a great wine by the bottle program because we have some storage space in there. We needed some office space to keep things going. We also, I put the catering on the back burner for a little while, and I want to get back into doing more winery events and barbecue. It's such a great people love barbecue, and the wine country style barbecue that I call it is a little homage to Texas style barbecue. We're not in Texas, but I do low and slow cook the meats. We are in California, but we're not in Santa Maria, so I don't use a grill. To all the true barbecue aficionados out there, they know that low and slow is barbecue. Smoked meats is barbecue. Everything else is just grilling.
What do you say when people say, Traeger, what are you, cheating? Because I get that all the time. Do you get that?
You know what? There is a big rivalry amongst the pellet burners and the stick burners, they call them. But no way, man. I love the pellet barbecue. I have 5 Traegers, and I just went over to the dark side, so to speak, and got a Green Mountain.
Oh,
that is.
My buddy has one of those. He loves it.
They're great. They're great. From what I understand, when Traeger's patent ran out, quite a few years ago. Green Mountain was the first company to take that technology. Traeger's still the OG original guys, and when you speaking from experience, when you win and you come on top, you get a lot of haters start coming out of the woodwork and wanting to knock you down, and that's kind of where Traeger is right now. But I love it. I can put my meat on there. I can rub it with my spice rub. All right, I can put it on there and go get all the other scratch-made stuff. Everything that we do at our place, and it's a pretty extensive menu for a barbecue restaurant, it's all scratch-made.
When it does the same job that a traditional smoker did, 10, 15 years ago, but you don't have to do all the labor of getting the wood, soaking the wood, building the fire, let it smoke. I mean, you know what I mean? And being able to control the temperature, that's why I love it.
It's great for a restaurant, too, because the easier that you can make your process.
You gotta streamline it. I mean, you think about these barbecue places, probably the most legendary barbecue place in the country is Franklin Barbecue in Austin, Texas. I was there with my wife in October and seeing what these guys do now. All these Texas barbecue guys, they are smoking over wood, but if you understand, they open at 11 and usually they're closing at 3. The best barbecue places in the country are open 3 and 4 days a week. Well, we don't want to be that. That's not a solid business model for us.
We want a few more days in there.
So we open 6 days a week. We close on Wednesdays. And tell you what, I'm still in there or having some staff in there helping us get prepped up for the rest of the week. But again, I can take the meat and I can low and slow smoke it. We do brisket, we do tri-tip, we do pulled pork, we do house-made bacon, we do pork loin, and we do chicken. So there's 6, plus different meat items. And then we're doing specials like I'm playing around with a smoked turkey. We've been doing some smoked lamb leg. And then obviously, not obviously, but Sunday is Paella Sunday. So Sunday we do paella, and paella it's Spanish barbecue. It's cooked outside, big awesome paella pans. We do a Cuban, we do a banh mi. So it's wine country barbecue to me is globally influenced barbecue. Take the best of Texas, take the best of California, take the best of the other wine producing regions in the world, and twist it up and call it Wine Country Barbecue.
Jeffrey from Jeffrey's Wine Country Barbecue this year at the Mac and Cheese Fest.
You don't do a grilled cheese sandwich, right?
We had a grilled cheese sandwich on the menu, and yes, I should say we still do it. We had to take it off the menu because it was so good, and it was, ironically enough, a little time consuming. We don't have a really big kitchen in there.
Yeah.
So it is off menu, but like any cool restaurants,
how did you do
there's
yours?
an off menu.
Do you put vegetables on it?
People love putting tomatoes on it, but we are doing...
Jeff has a pet
There's
peeve.
no way more to ruin a grilled cheese sandwich by putting a tomato on
Jeff
it.
still has the palate of a 7-year-old.
Well, you're gonna hate this because we are doing Spanish manchego, New York sharp cheddar, and mozzarella, provolone, sharp cheddar, and manchego. And it was Spanish cheese, an American cheese, and an Italian cheese.
Well, I like that.
And it was super dynamite. But my flat top griddle is not really big, and so we're a barbecue house. But we do a grilled cheese. We are doing as soon as the tomatoes come back in a really good season, we'll start doing a BLT with our house-made bacon. That was a big seller. And the brisket, for instance, we'll talk about that with the mac and cheese. But we do brisket, and it's been selling out a lot. I can only cook maybe 3 briskets a day tops, and it's a mover, man. It's a mover.
Your meat guy must love seeing you come.
Tell you what, I'm keeping a few meat guys in business these days.
Do you go to the local guys, J&R, or do you have a guy that comes to you? Like, how do you do it when you need to buy that much meat?
Giordano's Food Service, based out of Santa Barbara. They're a great all-purpose supplier, so I get all sorts of stuff for them, and we're using. Sometimes it's prime grade. Sometimes, most times, it's never less than. It's called upper 2/3 choice, but it's a premium product. All the tri-tip, we hand trim, season it with our called Jeffrey Spice. It's our house rub, and then it goes on the smoker for 4 hours. All the meats get seasoned. Same thing with the pork shoulder. I know J&R is great, and I highly recommend J&R for the home. The home guy, but they just simply couldn't keep. But they're a retail store, just like I'm a retail store.
Sure, they couldn't slaughter enough for you.
Right.
All right, we got Jeffrey in here. Jeffrey's Wine Country Barbecue. You got to go by and see him. We're between Pine and Park Street in that alley.
Pine and Park and 12th and 13th.
What's it called? Norma Way.
It's called Norma's Way.
Norma's Way.
Anybody up in North County knows Norma Moy. She's a sweetheart of a lady, and she's got the Main Street Association's office. She's really been one of the major contributors of putting Paso Robles on the map. Quite a few years ago, we won like downtown of the year. Mm-hmm. And so we're right next to her. Our spot used to be a parking lot. We have some of the most outdoor seating in Paso. You walk down, like some folks were saying, your mom told you always to avoid the alleys. Well, don't avoid this alley. You peek your head down our alley between 12th and 13th and Park and Pine. You'll see our big vertical, really cool neon sign.
I love that it's in the alley. I don't know, there's something kind of cool about that.
That was it, man. You walk down this alley, you're kind of raising
sign.
Your eyebrow. What the heck's going on here? There's some dumpsters there. Hey, what's that guy doing over there? And then you stumble upon our courtyard and great outdoor seating. When the weather's nice, the garage doors are up. You walk up to the counter, but we got great beers, eight draft beers, all for the most part craft beers. We have 8 wines on tap, and now we have a great wine program with wines on the bottle.
And so now you're going to be doing more stuff to go in the future. That's a part of the new project when that gets approved. But let's talk about the mac and cheese that you brought in today. Jeff's all over it.
So the mac and cheese, man, I had a great practice this weekend at the Paso Robles Wine Festival. Was this past Friday and Saturday. So Saturday in the park, there was about 2,500 people, just about the same amount of number of people that go to the Mac and Cheese Fest. So I had a good practice doing a mac and cheese on Saturday. This one was a 7-cheese mac and cheese. It had feta and goat cheese added to my regular roasted garlic 5-cheese sauce, and then I topped it with pulled pork and our house-made barbecue sauce, and it was a huge hit. It's definitely a contender. The one I brought in today, definite contender. I haven't decided exactly what we're going to do. But
I like the fact that you're putting barbecue sauce on macaroni and cheese. I mean, nobody really thinks about that. But when you go to barbecues and you get a little barbecue sauce on your macaroni and cheese, like, ooh, that's kind of good
try
together.
To find ways to get more barbecue sauce.
Yeah,
exactly.
On your macaroni and cheese.
Just squirt it on top. I did so this one is 16-hour smoked, chopped brisket. Prime grade beef brisket, low and slow smoked, chopped up. I topped it with the mac and cheese, topped it with our killer house-made barbecue sauce, which is a great combination of smoke and sweet. Just sweet enough to know that it's there, and just smoky enough to know that it's barbecue sauce. And then I think the kicker is the house-made pickles and the house-made pickled red onions, cucumbers and pickles. And it sounds a little bit weird at first, but
it looks weird. And you know me and my propensity for vegetables, period.
Right.
And vegetables on grilled cheese sandwiches. You brought it in. I was like, oh. And then I took a bite, and I will give this a run because it's pickled, and the mixture of the flavor. I hope you go with this one. I really do, because the mixture of the flavor is balance. It's great balance. You add those pickles in with the little bit of barbecue sauce and the cheese and the flavor from the smoked meats.
Yeah.
It's just this. It's a carnival in your mouth. It is.
And it's pretty too, man. It looks like a carnival with the red and the green, and
it looks awesome.
It provides a little bit of that crunch that you're always looking for. The texture in mac and cheese is a big one.
We had to jump on air, and I had to stop down on eating it for a minute because we're on air. But you'll notice that what's the first thing gone?
I don't see any of the pickled vegetables.
All the pickled
you
vegetables.
ate all your vegetables,
I
Jeff.
know. So
Wow.
I'm good for the day.
He's good on vegetables on his mac and cheese, not his grilled cheese. Just
there it is.
If they're pickled, let's just put it that way.
Jeffrey put Paso mac and cheese steak on the map in Paso Robles. That was his first winning macaroni and cheese. This could replace it.
Tell you what, with the 2 first place winners that we've had, the Paso mac and cheese steak, and one that hasn't come back yet. It was the Steakhouse mac and cheese made with a horseradish cheddar. We had that one year that Yancey's Fancy sponsored it. So they have this really killer horseradish cheddar that I put in sauteed mushrooms and finished it with a little bit of strip steak.
So good. All right, we'll get up to Jeffrey's. They're open every day but Wednesday. That's the day they take off.
Please don't come on Wednesday. We need one day off, and I know it frustrates a lot of folks, but today's Monday, it's all-day happy hour. Tuesday, we have tacos on the menu, but Tuesday we've been doing 20% off wines by the bottle because it's a big locals night. Wednesday is my wife and I's date night. I am there usually in the morning trying to get some things organized and cleaned up, but come check us out Thursday through Tuesday.
Subscribe to the Jeff and Jeremy podcast now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. It's your Central Coast commute-friendly podcast.